we miss our boy Andrew Hall. He had he's a little sicky today, you know.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Storyworks podcast. I'm your host, Zachary Gosen.
And I'm your co-host for today, Dennis Skoltenhouse.
What the fuck?
Skoltenhouse.
Skoltenhouse.
Scovillehouse.
Scovillehouse. Burgundy.
What year did Scream the movie come out? 96, the first one? Damn. All right.
Wasn't that the one with Shaggy in it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
The OG, Matthew Lillard.
He the one, bro.
He
Especially
is.
in Hackers.
Never seen Hackers,
Yeah,
actually.
no, that was a good one. Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, she was bad as hell. Especially back then. Before all the plastic got in there.
Bad as hell. She'll whoop your ass.
Yeah, probably. I'm with it, though.
You ever seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah, dude. That shit was wild.
Let me just punch the mic stand. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Storyworks podcast. I'm your host, Zach Gosen, and next to me today is...
BRGND, Burgundy. Check out the YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's here to plug his shit, and then he's going to leave, and it's just going to be me today because Andrew's not here. That's a lie. He's sticking around.
Yeah, no. I'll leave halfway through to like rock a mean piss, but like I'll come back.
See, we at least share that in common. I have a fucking shit bladder. You know, I'm a little piss boy, as Andrew calls me.
I'm just expecting to lose a kidney one of these days. Just the whole urethra stretches out like a horror movie. Jesus fucking Christ.
Now
segue.
I'm leaving and he's doing the podcast by himself.
That's our segue.
That's where we're at. Welcome to your new studio. You just take over. Yeah. The Storyworks podcast with Burgundy. It's a Burgundy product now. I
better start painting.
Oh, fuck. So, no, we had a lot of fun talking about Hereditary and Midsommar with Burgundy. So I figured we'd have him on again and talk some more horror. You seem to like the genre.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I've always been a horror person because I'm not allowed to kill people on a regular basis without going to jail.
So you just have to have some kind of catharsis.
Yeah, right? You know, between headshots in Call of Duty and watching people get opened up on the big screen.
Jesus Christ, man.
I mean, I'm an angry suburban person. Like, we don't breed sane people.
We don't breed sane.
There's something in the water out here.
Well, we're talking about some fucked up films today.
Yes, sir.
That kind of catharsis that we like to see on the big screen. We're doing slashers. We're going to talk, I guess, just kind of slashers that we like. Me personally, I liked I feel like there's like a main 5 or so that really hit and that are really popular.
There's definitely a big 5 of like 80s slasher films.
Yeah, going like mid-70s, going into the 80s.
Right.
What was your connection with like these kind of almost like, I mean, some are campy, some are not, but what's your relationship with slasher films?
I always wanted to be Michael Myers.
Is he your favorite?
Yeah, he's definitely my favorite.
Shape, they call him.
The Shape.
Because he's literally just, he's like just the personification of evil.
I totally forgot about that, too.
It's crazy, right? Isn't that cool?
I always just related with, like, offing your entire family.
Jesus
I'm obviously
Christ.
Playing I love my family.
He said, okay, now this is the joke. I'm kidding this time.
I do want to be Michael Myers, though. Michael Myers is the biggest one. My girl's a huge fan of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, yeah, Freddy. Yeah,
so a very big one.
He is an interesting character. I guess all of these slashers have kind of like had super weird arcs as they push sequels. You know what I'm saying? As they just keep trying to make more and like bring these guys back in some way.
I almost feel like the directors get so fed up with it after a certain point. They're if I'm going to have to make this movie, I'm going to make it as dumb as possible.
And that's why it often derails. And they're like, okay, movie studio, since you want to keep making these movies, I'm done with it.
Right.
You find somebody else to keep making these movies. I've left my imprint here, and that's where it's going to stay in my own head.
I just love thinking about the situation where he makes a movie intentionally stupid just so they stop making this movie. And then the company goes, oh, yeah, it did really well. You're going to make another one.
Hey, great job.
Great job.
We need you to write 3 more.
And he's like, that was fucking terrible. What are you buying?
Oh my God.
Like what was it? Dream Child from Nightmare on Elm Street, like the
Dude.
very last one, I think it is. It's
the very last
historically
one is
hated.
Freddy's Dead.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah,
it
that's
just called
right.
Freddy's Dead?
I think so.
You never know how many of these things there are, dude.
Yeah.
You'll Google it, and there'll be a fucking weird one.
Yeah, like how many Nightmare on Elm Streets are there?
Let's see.
I could probably like call them. What do they call it on that old show? Like you phone a friend or some shit.
Phone them. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, technically 7
Oh, with the
Nightmare on
remake?
Elm Street films. Wait, that's not including the remake, actually.
Oh my
This is the
God.
original series, but there was that one weird one called Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh yeah,
Came
I've
out
seen
in
that
'94. Very strange one.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Freddy got funky.
Got funky.
He got a little
bruh.
wacky. He got a little kooky.
Definitely kooky. You remember the tongue through the phone?
Yeah, dude.
The effects on that was fucking great.
Dude, so I mean, just something that you gotta love about these, especially like the Nightmare on Elm Street films, is just
Yeah.
the crazy, practical, weird effects. Like he does things like now that are just kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
Like watching it growing up, I was pretty scared, but they definitely make him a funny guy.
it
to
almost
a degree.
nails the campiness.
Like for sure.
You know, like it really helped define 80s slashers in general.
Yeah.
But on top of the whole trope of like, it is supposed to be fun, so we're gonna make it like kooky. We're gonna suck Johnny Depp through a bed type shit.
Dude, that scene. Is
That whole
fucking
scene. Did you
insane.
see how they made that scene?
No.
Dude, they built a
It's always so much more impressive without VFX. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
right. Well, they built a room set, and it
Yeah.
had to be on like this giant crane or some shit. That way they could spin it upside down.
Yeah.
So they were actually pouring blood like through the
And they like
bed.
played it in reverse and shit. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's crazy. That's fucking. See, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect the game,
Dude, how much money went into that set is what I'm wondering.
So
Like that would be an obnoxious
that's a
feat.
good question. That happens in the first one, right?
I believe so.
Nightmare on Elm Street. What was your budget? It's always surprisingly low for horror movies, to be honest.
Really? I mean, maybe Scary's just
Also,
more affordable.
Yeah. So it was about 1.8 million. It looks like
That was in
84, I
84.
think.
I don't know what that would be with inflation, but that sounds like a pretty big budget back then.
So like, in terms of like modern horror movies with that kind of budget, have you seen the movie X?
X.
That came out this year. It was a
I
horror
have
slasher.
not. I saw something about it last night. What was it about?
X is oh yeah, we have an episode. The last episode we talked about was actually X.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, a couple ago actually. But super good. It's like it's in the 70s. It's a porn crew in the 70s they're going to like an ad on a newspaper where you can stay at this ranch.
Oh, yeah.
They're
and
filming a
isn't there,
script
like, an
called The
old
Farmer's
couple-
Daughter. Yes.
Yeah, and the old couple's like grappling with being old. And
Yeah.
all that shit. Yeah.
Yes,
That
so-
looked interesting.
Yeah, it's a great slasher flick. It's like almost one location. Most of it's taking place on that farm.
That's
And
dope.
that was about $1 million, I think they spent on that
That's
budget.
not bad. And
Right.
they shot everything like on an actual like farm set, or did they
Yeah,
build a
I think-
soundstage?
I don't think they built a soundstage.
I was gonna
but
say they're not Ari Aster. I'm
yeah,
guessing.
that would definitely add some more to the budget when you're actually building a soundstage like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, with inflation, how that kind of affects a Nightmare on Elm Street, because like in X, they weren't doing anything crazy like that. You know, Nightmare on Elm Street's got these crazy dream sequences, and the deaths are just bizarre.
Yeah, that and the practical effects for their time were really ahead of the game too. I'm
Oh,
pretty
for
sure there was
sure.
one scene in that movie, I could be wrong, where Freddy had an extendo arm. Where it
That's the
was-
one that really makes me laugh now,
yeah,
though.
that one
Dude,
kills me. It's so long.
his arm
dude.
looks like it's like they're crinkled in, and then he just goes, and you can't see me. He extends his
dancing.
arms on either side and just starts flapping them around, and he's like, "Rah, bitch."
Bitch. Rick and Morty fucking nailed the Freddy
They-
Krueger bit.
That was the funniest bit
He
to me.
says
Scary
bitch a lot.
Terry is
Scary
the funniest
Terry
motherfucker.
was so good.
That never failed to make me laugh in that show.
Every time I see that long ass arm, though, now I'm just thinking about Davis's 10-foot sound pole.
Yeah,
That boy just getting him work now.
he big.
They ran out of their budget, so they just put a giant sleeve on a sound pole.
Keep extending, keep going. So yeah, did you like Freddy?
Freddy
kinda
Krueger
growing up?
was dope.
he a
He
big one
messed
for you?
me up psychologically because
I had a lot of nightmares, bro.
yeah, exactly. You got a lot of nightmares, especially when you're a kid watching a horror movie.
Talk about a terrifying idea for a film.
Oh, dude, did
in
you see what that
general.
was based on?
No.
So, Wes Craven originally got the idea from a series of newspaper articles that he
Oh,
was
wow.
reading in like the early 70s or some shit, where there was this phenomenon going on where a bunch of, what is it? Southeastern Asian immigrants,
Mhm.
like the Philippine area,
Yeah.
immigrating to America were dying in their sleep. And it's
Really?
believed to be like a result of like stress and trauma of
Oh
some
my
sort.
God.
I don't know if it was a brain aneurysm situation or what.
Yeah.
But bros was getting clapped in their sleep. And he's like, that's
like,
terrifying.
yeah, dude,
like,
yeah.
that's scary as fuck. Like,
That's crazy,
for me,
man.
it sounds like great because I would love to just not wake up.
Jesus Christ.
But at the same time,
Skip the
like,
Freddy nightmare. You just kind of
yeah, just skip the Freddy nightmare and just don't wake up. But I mean, apparently these guys were like screaming, like leading
Oh,
up
for
to their death.
real?
Like they would be screaming and
Oh,
like flailing
Jesus,
in their
man.
sleep. So it's almost like they were getting killed by a sleep paralysis demon. And
That's fucking
then
terrifying.
Wes Craven gave him a hat. So,
He gave him a hat and a
Yeah.
striped sweater.
yeah, dude.
Holy shit, that's bonkers, man. I've never heard that before.
But that's how you come up with a good horror movie.
For sure,
Like, that's
dude.
what you need to do. Like,
You find,
there's
like,
a
some kind of-
human fear,
Right.
like a human real life premise. And you go, how do I personify that concept?
I think that's something that has a step up above other slashers that were competing with the Nightmare on Elm Street at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Is just how psychological it was in that fact, and the fact that it had an innate fear that you can't escape from. You have to go to sleep at some point.
Exactly.
You can't fucking stop that.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could do as many lines as possible, and, like, you're still going to
At some
crash
point,
at
you're
some
going
point.
down.
Yeah.
And then he's going to fucking get your ass.
Dude.
It's the worst, man.
That's a big leg up that it had on films like Friday the 13th.
Yes.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
who the fuck's going to Crystal Lake?
Somebody who wants to die. Because there's
Exactly.
no other reason to go to Camp Crystal Lake
You know?
after 8 films.
And that's the other thing with it. Like, Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah, it was based in a certain neighborhood, but it painted the neighborhood in a way that felt very common to people at that time. It was
Yeah.
just suburbia, is what it was.
right.
You know, and at that time, it was such a.
And the parents just kind of the parents' reaction is to push it away and not
Yeah.
deal with it.
I mean, doesn't
You know
that.
what I mean?
I'd never realized it, but isn't that just kind of a beautiful metaphor for suburban families dealing with problems?
Unfortunately, bro.
know?
Like, yeah.
It's like, and add to the fact that Freddy's crimes were Freddy's crimes. I don't know if I should say that on the podcast, but you
Yeah.
know what he did.
Yeah, no, he was a pedophile. Yeah.
You just said it. I was
And
gonna-
they burnt his ass down.
yeah, they
for it.
burnt his ass
Which,
down.
yeah,
which
do
is
that,
good.
for
You
sure.
should do that, but then at the same time, they're also like hiding it.
And then they hide it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And it's
Um,
like, oh yeah, my daughter's uncle never did any of that. You know, that's not a real
Oh,
problem.
God,
Let's get,
yeah.
you know, like that's kind of how it rings to me is
yeah.
how it could be like a family type situation, and they're just like pretending it didn't happen.
That's true, man.
You
Yeah, I
know,
never really
granted,
thought about
Freddy
it that
wasn't
way.
related to anybody, but
Yeah.
it's so common. Like you can't help but draw that parallel.
Some kind of
I
line.
probably sound like a crackling twat right now. Like my throat is fucked up. I'm sorry.
Dude, no, you're good. You're just a little gravelly.
Yeah, I'm a little gravelly. I smoke weed every day.
A little bit of that, a little bit of ciggies, you know.
Well, it's probably the
We're getting up
ciggies.
there. It starts to affect us.
I
these
should
days.
smoke more weed and less cigarettes.
Yeah.
That's what I should do.
Yeah.
That'll save my life.
So, Yeah, I really like the Nightmare on Elm Street films, man. Like, they get a little abysmal towards the. Like every slasher film, they get a little abysmal towards the end of the series, but it always held an interest, and there was always they were bringing kind of new ways to weave in and out
Yeah.
and kind of make it work. There's always going to be the ones that just fall flat on their face, but at least those are still funny to watch. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember if Busta Rhymes was in A Nightmare on Elm Street, or
Dude,
if that was in
you're
something
thinking
else.
Halloween,
I'm
bro.
thinking Halloween. I think
it's Halloween. Resurrections.
Yeah.
I think, and he definitely says he calls Michael Myers a
Motherfucker.
a motherfucker. Yeah, I think he says trick or treat, motherfucker, some shit like that. Like, I don't know. It's like that's kind of the best thing ever. I don't care how bad the movie is as a whole.
It's corny as hell, but
Busta Rhymes calling Michael Myers a motherfucker is hilarious. Like, you can't get over that.
He would be the one to do it too.
Of course,
like
he
in
would.
real life, in the movie, just Busta
beautiful.
Rhymes.
Fucking amazing. So we've talked kind of about, we're in the 80s right now with the Nightmare on Elm Street. Started out in 84. Nightmare on Elm Street was one of the ones where like, oh, they like this movie. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 came out in 85. 3, 86.
Oh, it was back to back.
Yeah, I didn't check all of them, but at least the first like 3 were back to back. Like, that was the ones where they were like, pump it out, we're competing.
Right. I mean, that's how you do it back then, though, or even with horror franchise nowadays. Saw, Paranormal Activity, didn't those release like yearly?
Yes, they would. Like when the Conjuring movies. I don't know if it's yearly or every other year. That was like the most recent one. Like Conjuring started, and that branched out to Annabelle, and that branched out to fucking
that was like a year by year thing for a little while.
It was like they were trying to kind of do like a Marvel, start a Marvel universe of horror films.
They were doing a pretty good job with it too.
From what I hear, yes. I honestly didn't watch any of the Conjuring movies past the first one. But I loved the first Conjuring movie.
The first Conjuring movie was really good. The only thing that I couldn't get past, because there's a whole suspension of disbelief element, is these motherfuckers have a haunted museum in their house where they leave their daughter on a regular basis.
Oh my God.
And they expected nothing bad to happen.
Never thought about that. Yeah, the way they keep all their shit.
But you bring in Annabelle and all of a sudden it's a problem.
Yeah.
As soon as you pull a doll in there, now it's scary. We're not worried about the haunted satanic samurai armor.
Or the Poltergeist TV.
Yeah, none of that
like
shit.
That.
No, it's the fucking
doll.
Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, it didn't hit for me that much. I didn't watch any of the Annabelle movies. But I might like check out Conjuring 2 or something.
Conjuring 2 might be a good one. I like the first one, but then there's the wrap-up was corny as hell.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to go ahead and diss The Conjuring real quick. I don't give a fuck
if
you like it or not. Eat my dick, my fat cock. But
you don't have to.
I'm playing. It's not fat.
If you ask likely, I will. Like, nicely, I will, maybe. You got to be nice about it.
Please, Zachary.
Okay.
But, no, the Warren bitch. The wife Warren, whatever her first name is.
The wife of the family.
So there's the Warren couple.
The Warren
like
couple.
The exorcists people.
Gotcha.
And this bitch puts her hand on a demonic woman's forehead and goes, "Remember this memory? You guys were on the beach. It was so nice. Isn't that enough to basically beat Satan?" And it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely enough.
Sorry, guys.
I swear to God, Davis.
My man's dying over here.
I was trying to hold that one back.
Don't hold back, bro. You're good. That shit sucks. Holding in a cough is the worst feeling.
Oh, yeah. No, you gotta let that out, man.
You guys remember being in high school, like trying to take a test? And you're like, you're like trying with your whole fucking life not to cough.
Don't be that guy.
Cough or sneeze.
When COVID hit, you're just anywhere.
Oh, no. Yeah. You're like,
oh, yeah.
Eyes about to pop.
You get a tickle in your throat, you're like, oh no, everybody's gonna be so afraid.
Yeah, dude. You were dissing the shit out of The Conjuring.
Oh yeah, fuck The Conjuring. That wrap-up was corny as shit.
I don't remember the wrap-up because the ending is so crazy, which is maybe they just wanted the wrap-up to go fast. You said she touches her head?
Yeah, so like she reaches through the
in?
floor or some shit, touches a possessed person's head, And earlier in the movie, they had a conversation about this day that the possessed girl would never forget and how it was so nice. And there's a picture of them on the beach because we haven't seen that yet. And fucking now all of a sudden a memory of you, your kids, and your husband on the beach is enough to beat a spirit. Let me tell you, if you've ever been with any family on a beach, it is not what it's made out to be, my man. You got kids running everywhere, cutting themselves with seashells and shit, you know, on some emo footwear type situation. Like, it's you're trying to find who's paying for drinks, and it's fucking ridiculous. And if you're the one paying for drinks, you gotta wait in line for goddamn 30 minutes under a beating sun while people are talking about, I don't know, the next pizza joint for the next 5 minutes. It's just,
And I don't know how, but you always get
Drives me
sand in your
crazy.
ass. I don't know how.
you always get sand
I don't know
in
if it's
your
just
ass.
me.
For me, it's under the toenails.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst.
Under the balls, dude.
Under the balls.
Sand under the balls.
I haven't had sand under my balls yet.
Well, I used to go out in the ocean. I used to love being in the ocean and like taking on the waves and shit. And when I was younger, I would just fucking let the waves take me.
Yeah. So
It was fun.
Isn't this a beautiful conversation about the beach? But is that enough to beat a demon?
No.
No, not even
No.
close. Not even close. Conjuring, work on your writing. I'm saying it
You much
right
more
now.
prefer to see like in exorcism movies when we're like the priests are like shouting like Latin and shouting like that shit's cool.
Super,
That
like
shit's
The
crazy.
Exorcist, like that movie was fucking amazing.
That movie shook the like world.
That-
Let me see what year The Exorcist came
yeah,
out.
dude.
That's one I actually didn't even put on my list. That's a crime.
Literally,
Holy shit, dude. The Exorcist came out in 1973.
it's 73.
That predates Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I thought, like, Texas Chainsaw well, The Exorcist isn't really a slasher, but
Yeah, but it's a good horror movie.
yeah. Oh, my God, for sure.
My dad's traumatized by it.
Dude, same.
Shout out, my dad. You're a bad person. But every
This
time,
is the one that got the generation before us, I think. Like,
Oh,
this is the
yeah.
movie that fucked up.
Well, that and the generation before us was like super fundamental Christian, fucking. So like,
Oh, yeah. We got to keep that sound in the podcast. I just made the weirdest sound into this microphone.
really?
Deal.
He said deal.
It's like half trying not to choke on my coffee while also trying to say "oh" into the microphone. It was just kind of like "oh."
Oh.
All right.
But yeah, man. So just to fuck with my dad when I was a kid because I'm not a pussy
Stop.
and afraid of
Because
like,
I'm not a pussy.
well, the head spinning scene. You
Oh,
know what I'm
okay.
saying? How
Yeah.
they like broke credit cards to get that neck cracking sound.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
super cool sound design, by the way.
Yeah, that's
very
unique.
creative.
Yeah,
But he hates that scene.
Yeah.
Because she looks like crazy as hell.
right.
So I used to put it up on the TV like as he was waking up for work.
Oh my God.
And I would just like, as soon as he would walk in, he'd be like, "Turn on the TV," just being a dick,
Right.
you
You're
know.
like,
So
"All right."
I'd hit play,
You got
him.
it. Got him. Holy shit, man. Yeah, The Exorcist was nuts. I thought you were gonna say you came down the stairs like crab walking backwards.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Like if I had any athleticism at
Yeah, you would have been taking a tumble.
all, that would be my first move. I'd grow my hair out even longer than I had
Oh
it.
my God.
Know what I'm saying? I'd dye that shit brown again.
Again?
Yeah, dude, I dyed my hair brown to look like a normal person.
To look like a normal.
Because kids would
person.
make fun of me for being blonde, you know? So I dyed my hair brown, and then they made fun of me for dyeing my hair brown.
You can't escape it, dude.
Yeah.
Kids are the real horror
That's
story.
the real horror movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Why haven't they made that yet?
I think it's got to be somewhere.
The Karate Kid remake.
The
There it
Karate
is.
Kid remake?
Yeah, the Karate Kid remake.
Yeah.
Kids are the horror story, bro.
You're right. He gets to
Yeah.
kick some ass though.
Dude, they
That's what you
nailed
love
that
about
shit.
Karate
I
Kid.
am derailing this all the way off. I'm sorry.
You're good, bro. You're
Dude.
good. It's a fluid conversation. We
Yeah.
don't stick to one thing. I'm not that podcast host that's like, I can't believe you're taking me off topic right now. We have something else to talk about.
We have something of it. Fucking
I've heard podcast hosts like that, and I'm like, man, I mean,
Exorcist
I get
isn't
it.
even a slasher film.
You said we were talking slashers. You fucking lied.
Oh God. We did kind of false advertise a little bit, but I ain't worried about it if you aren't.
Hey, it's just it's horror month. We're talking all horror. You know what I
You
mean?
guys aren't worried about it.
We're having a good time. So I was gonna put I wanted to talk about kind of where, because we were talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. So that's like 1980. That's like when slashers kind of already started kicking, and that's when people wanted to keep getting their story out. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So kind of going back to like 1974. That's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's like
I forgot it was that old.
right?
Yeah, like it's so good.
It's crazy. I used to watch the original a lot. I liked
the original is almost scarier.
Yeah.
because it's like that grainy film type.
So
look.
grainy. Yeah. It's like super low budget horror. I fucking love
Could
that.
you imagine if they did like found footage type camera work with that camera that they were using
That would be fucking
before
insane.
found footage was ruined?
Yeah, dude.
You know, which is still good. You know, I'm not a hater, but like
You still love that, like, to have that kind of look to it, though.
yeah.
That's an interesting idea. If anybody makes a fan film like this, you owe us money.
Yeah,
We're copywriting this
immediately.
idea.
Copywritten
The next Texas Chainsaw found footage.
on
it takes
a camera
place-
from the 70s.
Yeah. Yes.
Ari Aster, this bitch, bro. We'll get the camera from the era.
Let's
you know,
fucking
we'll
go.
build the soundstage in Texas.
We going down to Texas.
Yeah, that would be sinister as fuck. I don't know if I would survive a week in Texas.
I don't know.
I'd
either,
say the
man.
wrong shit and get clapped, and then you'd have to put that in the movie.
That's keep rolling. No. Pan over there. Pan over there.
over there.
And keep rolling.
All right. Hey, can you
Jesus.
shoot him like one more time, just right in the chin for me? Thank you.
So I had Texas Chainsaw Massacre as the first slasher film, but then I started thinking about fucking Psycho. Would that be considerably like
I
the
feel
first
like
slasher
that.
film? Yeah.
I don't know if that's a slasher film or a psychological thriller.
Yeah, because there's not like a lot of kills in that.
Yeah.
I think
There's only the one, but the one kill is definitely a slasher style kill.
it's set up
Perfectly.
so much.
I mean, the killer's in a
slasher genre.
costume. He's using a bladed weapon. It's
Yeah.
while they're vulnerable, you know? Like, that's all the elements.
Right. Psycho is such a good fucking
It's
Norman.
fucking
Norman
great.
Bates is such a good character.
Dude, do you know who he's based off of, though?
Who?
Ed Gein.
Okay.
Do you know
I know
Ed
the
Gein?
name Ed Gein, but which fucked up person
Ed
is
Gein
this?
is a famous serial killer, you know, who I've studied extensively because I'm a terrible person. And so,
No, you know, serial killer fanatic is just a thing that's out there.
yeah, dude. Well, one of my goals is I want to buy a lampshade that he made
Oh my
out of a person's face. And like you could see the face still in the lampshade.
I think I've seen pictures
It's
of that
still
shit.
preserved.
That's disgusting.
I'd plan on buying that.
Nope.
If anything that I ever do makes any money, I'm buying that lampshade.
Welcome to Cribs, MTV Cribs. This is my
MTV
crib. Check it out, y'all.
This is my crib.
You're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
This is a human person's face.
But he was a farmer kid, you know, whose mom was like super abusive and, you know, typical shit. I think his dad was like absent
Gotcha.
or something like that. But regardless, like he lived on a farm. He was a nut job, so he starts killing animals as you do on a farm, you
Right.
know. So it's almost like his sinister nature was masked by the job that he was doing, which is killing animals.
Wow.
So he got to do what he loved,
Okay.
you know, so definitely nailing it in that department.
This very much hooks into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And we'll talk about it a little bit more because I just
actually,
rewatched
it's funny
this.
you say that because
I think he was also based off of
Leatherface-
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is also based
for
off
sure.
of that
Because
game.
yeah,
Because they
That's
have
crazy.
a body part furniture spread out throughout the house in
Yes.
Texas Chainsaw.
yes.
Yeah, dude. So Ed Gein is just inspiring art out here, and I don't know if you can say he's a
Inspiring
bad person. No, he's a bad person. He was a rapist.
He's a bad person.
He's a rapist murderer who I'm pretty sure had a sexual relationship with his mom.
So that's where the
Pretty
psycho
sure.
shit comes in.
Yeah, that's where the psycho shit comes in. The obsessive nature over the abusive mom.
That's crazy, dude.
You know, Ed Gein is just an inspiration for horror.
For horror.
For
Thanks
horror,
tagging that
not
in.
like as a person.
Yeah, that's crazy. It definitely rings Leatherface like 100%.
The only thing that kills me about Ed Gein is that he was a really good craftsman. Like, he made furniture out of people, but I don't care
Is
what
it
any.
impressive? I guess.
It's
but
some of them are very impressive. He had a chandelier made out of human ribs.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And it
that's-
looked beautiful.
Oh my
Like, if you
God.
didn't know it was dead people's ribs, you would buy that shit.
Holy
That's how nice this
fucking
thing was. It's like,
shit.
this man could have made a very successful career just being a craftsman.
But
And
he could.
instead, he was working on his mom's farm, you know? This is why you let kids follow their dreams.
This is why you let. That actually rings true to the movie Pearl as well, which is a predecessor to the movie X. It's a prequel.
Really?
Yeah. So that's kind of crazy.
Dude.
That reminds me a lot of Pearl.
We're
actually.
hitting all the notes today.
Nuts. Maybe. Well, those two movies like X and Pearl pulled a lot of inspiration from a lot of classic slashers and horror movies.
Oh, okay.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah, you
yes,
said those were released like recently?
both came out this year. Which is
Oh, that's
really cool.
why.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to draw from the classics if you're going to make like a modern rendition of a slasher film.
Yeah, and
Some
it's
shit
been
like
a
The
while since
Strangers
we've-
type.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had like a new kind of slasher. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
kind of went its own way. Fucking The Strangers was terrifying. That was
Yeah, that
of
one
the
fucked you up.
earlier movies that really fucked me up because it's just like that can just happen. You know what I mean?
Dude. Oh, dude, and the
It's just
fact
fucked up people who
their
want to kill.
motive for wanting to kill these people. Like, you remember the line.
I remember the line.
Yeah, because you were home. It's like, that's fucking awesome.
It's so.
It's like, this could
chilling.
happen to any of you, podcast listener, and also for no fucking reason.
I don't know what year that came out, dude, but I saw it like the year it came out, and we were like not. I don't know how old we
like
were,
the
dude.
20 teens or
Yeah.
late 10s.
Oh my god, I couldn't deal with that shit.
Dude, that was so good.
All of the shots of them just going about their day or night. She's just standing in the kitchen, and the dude's standing behind her for a solid 30 seconds
That
as
was a
she's like
good-
either talking on the phone or something, and then he just walks out, and then she turns around. I'm like, God
The
damn
thing
it,
that gets
dude.
me, isn't that their vacation home?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you get for having a vacation home.
Or they rent. It's like he proposed to her, and that's where they went
Oh,
afterwards.
so it's like
And she
late
said no to the
2000s
proposal.
Airbnb.
something like that. It seems like.
Well, that's what you get for having money.
Yeah.
Expendable income. You know what I'm saying?
Complete.
You know, some of us are just trying to like,
Some of us trying to get by.
yeah, we're trying to pay the bills. You're out here getting a vacation home. We'll fucking
Jesus.
get broken
Christ.
into, bitch.
Get broken into.
Eat the rich is what I'm saying.
Yeah. The Strangers is really good. Never saw the sequel. Not really interested in the sequel. Did
Yeah,
you
no,
see it?
I didn't even know there was a sequel.
Yeah.
Like, I
They-
don't think it had any coverage at all.
They completely went a different route with it, and it just
Did they?
seems. I think it lost what made it scary to me, just being in this house alone, stuck with these
Yeah.
people. They kind of went bigger and more open with it. It seems
So it was like the follow up to The Purge.
pretty much.
Yeah, so
Which
like,
even the first Purge was kind of disappointing to me, based on the concept.
yeah, the concept
'Cause
was
the
a little
concept-
disappointing.
Like, well, I
I-
thought the concept was interesting, but the way that they
Executed it.
executed it in the first movie, I just didn't really like that much.
I guess that's what I kind of meant because, like, for me, there is a bit of a flaw in the concept. Like, yeah, okay, one night a year, all Americans are gonna go ballistic.
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of unrealistic. But even if you rock with it, it's kind of a good idea.
Right.
And then you go to this fucking rich ass dude's home whose job is to sell security.
Yeah.
Like that becomes a, you know, it's a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, oh, this is his job protecting people during the purge, but
Right.
guess what? Not even he's safe. So
Right.
would you be safe? You know?
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it just could have been executed better. The people were kind of scary, but knowing it's just a bunch of rich fucking cocksuckers.
Yeah. The main antagonist was like he did a good job
the mask on and
acting,
stuff,
but I
yeah.
feel like they should have let him get more animated.
Yeah.
You know, because he was just hands behind his back, you
Yeah.
know, smiling in the camera, and it's
Right.
like, yeah, okay, you're creepy looking as hell. Like
Yeah.
we've nailed that. Now convince me that you're willing to do some shit
Right.
instead of just sicking your goons on us.
Right. No, I totally feel that. So Purge movies are pretty good. The
No,
first,
yeah, they're
the
not
first
bad,
one I liked.
You know, I heard the
I like a lot of
TV
them.
series that they
There's a
did
fucking
for it.
show?
Yeah, they're doing a show for it. I've heard really good things.
Wow.
So I'm excited to see it because I'm willing to give it a chance.
Yeah.
But like that, and I feel like concepts like that ride better as series.
Right.
You know, because you're able to establish the world a little better. Your world building is better executed. I meant to say you establish your characters better,
Yeah.
like individuals,
Right.
and then through that, whoa, that was my bad.
I do it so much, dude.
Dude, like
I don't move as if there's a mic stand next to me, and I see.
nailed it. Well, you did it to make me feel good and like comfortable, and I appreciate the hospitality.
Of course.
You know, especially while we're talking about grimy ass horror movies.
Yeah, boy.
I almost want to come up with some more examples that have to do with serial killers. That's definitely my bag.
Dude, well, fucking. I want to talk a little bit about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You're right. I'm so sorry for constantly derailing us. I
Nah,
am just
dude.
having a great time.
Of course, that's what it's all about.
Talking to you guys, talking to my man
Conversation.
Zachary.
Yeah. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I feel like was the movie that kind of set off like slashers because it's like a body count.
It really set the mood for like, we need to go over the top as much as possible for gore, you know?
Well, you know what's interesting about the first one is that it's probably the least gory, and it even had to be like they had to pull back on the gore because they were
Really?
scared that it wouldn't get shown in like certain places in certain countries, and Toby Hooper, the director, was trying to get it out as much as possible.
Right.
obviously.
He's like, we need to make money off of this, but
Right.
we need to keep the artistic integrity.
That's the only thing. Like, I do wish that he would have gone all out in '74. And I mean, it was
Yeah.
1974, and I guess horror and kills were different back then.
I might just remember it being gorier than it actually was because it was
Yeah.
so impactful when you were like a younger kid.
For sure, most definitely,
You
yeah.
know?
And I also saw like the fucking 2002 remake
was a
and shit,
good
and
one.
that was super fucking. That was
Very
a blood fest.
gory.
Yeah, very disturbing.
On the nose advertisement.
Oh yeah.
They killed it.
And I would say that I still like the original's the best. You know.
Oh, another parallel to Ed Gein. Leatherface in the remake worked in a butcher shop, and they showed like the butcher shop and everything, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And even in the first one, it's like they work on a farm. Then there's a huge conversation about like butchers, not like shops, but where they keep cattle and where they kill the animals to then cut them up and start serving food.
Oh, okay, so that one like talks about it, and then the remake shows you.
I think it's more like that because you only see Leatherface in the house in the first one.
Right.
He's always just in that house. But like as the victims are kind of driving to their death in the van to get there, there's a big conversation to be had about like the food industry and like but mostly like putting cattle down and like
Yeah, I saw that in my research. Apparently, Wes Craven went vegan when he saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
really
Because he was able to peep the commentary on the food industry.
that's
and
crazy.
factory farming.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
a big conversation where like they're like, oh, well, how did they put the cows down? And like, oh, you just take a fucking hammer,
Jesus.
boom, not done yet, smack him again, not done yet, smack him
And
again,
cow skulls are thick as hell.
right? And then
Like-
then he's like, oh no, there's this new thing that you put it up to their head,
Oh,
you
and
hit
it's
the
a
trigger, and
pole
it's like
that
a
just...
it's like a metal rod that goes right through, and it's a character that it's a hitchhiker that they pick up that it's what you is then like he's part of the family, the Leatherface family.
Makes sense.
By the end of the movie, but they're talking about how it's more efficient and it kills them faster and it's better for the cow to do it that way. And this hitchhiker that they picked up in the van is like, oh no, you got to use the hammer. The hammer's the way to go. And this dude's obviously like a like he's like a weird
A fucking
motherfucker,
crazy
dude.
person.
He's a weird motherfucker. He ends up
He's like, no, you'll love it. You'll
cutting
love using
himself
the
out
hammer.
of nowhere with a fucking knife, and then he cuts another character, and they kick his ass out of the
How
van.
do I not remember this shit? Jesus.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it had been a while since I've seen this one as well, but I decided to watch it last week as we were like,
Smart move.
yeah, I wanted to give it a revisit, and it was definitely worth it. It's like the kills aren't super graphic, but they're still really good.
Yeah.
Because the first kill is with a hammer. It's a hammer to the head.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like the first dude, they find this house, which is Leatherface's house, unfortunately, and he walks in. In the 70s, I guess he just knocked on people's doors and went, "Hello,
Yeah.
hello," and if they didn't answer, you just walk into the house.
You do that shit in the 90s.
You're
All
just
the
like,
way up until 9/11, that was allowed to happen.
oh my god, yes.
So, you're gonna bleed that one out? Am I finally gonna get one?
Nope. Nope.
We're raw, baby.
We're going in raw into both towers.
Oh, I don't. I don't.
Is it alright?
I don't support this. This is Burgundy. This is Burgundy's podcast. I'm just a
playing.
guest.
You have Pro Tools. You can cut this out if you want.
Nope, nope.
We're fucking with you, bro.
I just want to see if I could get one. Shit. Just be like, okay, that one was over the line. I need to know where the line is. you know?
Nobody's told me yet. Holy Christ. Yeah, so
But the thing that always stuck out to me about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was when they had the final girl sit down at the
that's
dinner
like
table.
the first,
The
and that's the first
instance
final
of the
girl.
final girl.
A lot of people have said. I hear a lot of people saying it's Halloween, but no.
Nah, it's not Halloween.
Texas Chainsaw,
Texas
baby.
Chainsaw Massacre all day. But they sat her down at the dinner table and gave her just two fat slabs of meat.
Oh my
you
god.
know, like the human meat. And you can,
And they got old Grandpa on the other side of the table.
Yeah,
You remember
dude.
what Grandpa looked like?
I do not. I have-
Grandpa looked like a dehydrated old like half corpse.
Jesus.
And like they cut the final character's hand open and bring old Grandpa over, who you literally think he's dead at first, but he's fucking not somehow. And he like sucks on her blood. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this girl, this final girl is getting tortured.
Oh
like,
my God, you're right.
I think her name is Sally. Yeah, Sally's
Yeah.
the final girl in this one.
the
Look at that
grandpa looks
motherfucker.
horrifying, dude.
Right? He's
My
got like
man's
soulless eyes.
covered in rubber for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely like obvious.
Yeah,
but
as far as
still,
in the universe, he
and
looks
back
like
in the
he's
day
dead.
when this shit came out,
Oh,
like this was
yeah.
a big deal when this movie came out. People were like disgusted
I
by
love
this
it.
fucking movie.
And it's good to know that it came out around the same time as Cannibal Holocaust.
What year did Cannibal? You fucking popped this
I
shit in
love
last episode too, you son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
dude, Cannibal Holocaust is a good movie. I don't care what anybody says.
You're
They
not saying
didn't
it's
have
a
to
good
abuse animals, but they did it for us.
But
I'm
they did it for
playing.
us.
I hate that they did that. Like, sea turtles are majestic as fuck.
Oh, they hurt. That's fucked
Yeah,
up.
it was pretty rough. Cannibal Holocaust, 1980, so it is
That
a
came
little
out
bit
in
later.
1980. Jesus.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit later. I thought it would have been early 70s. but-
That's actually surprising. That
Yeah.
I thought it kind of. I've only seen like the poster, man. I haven't
Oh,
watched
yeah.
the trailer, and I'm not.
There's no
going
need
to.
to watch it. It is like it's clever as far as practical effects goes. Like if that's what you're showcasing, it's really good for that. But as far as plot, the plot's ass.
Yeah,
The sea turtle
It was
scene
just
is
shock.
super. Yeah, it was all
they
just
just wanted
shock.
to shock you. Pretty
Is all
much.
it was. Then it was like high key racist.
Yeah,
You
Fuck
know, like fuck all that shit. But it was like graphic enough that the director got taken to court.
that. Understandably
over it.
so. And
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, when you actually fucking hurt animals and shit, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, they did get
crazy.
tried for that.
So the
Like, they
Texas
got some
Chainsaw
shit-
Massacre, they didn't hurt any animals or anything, but
Thank
they
God.
did like scrounge around the area in Texas for all those bones are real. Those are all like dead.
Really?
The animal remains are real.
That's
They
cool.
straight up went and picked up that shit and threw it in a room. You know what I mean? So that shit was real without actual like abusing
Yeah,
things. Like
they're
he
just like
still
finding
used something real, which I found There's an actress that literally falls on top of all these bones
Oh my
in a
god.
scene. That shit's disgusting.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially just rotting in the sun in Texas.
oh my god, yeah,
Like how foul that must have been.
for real.
She's a good actress just for doing that.
Honestly, I feel bad for the dude who played Leatherface. They didn't wash his
dude,
costume once.
They didn't wash it. He could barely breathe. He was a heavy smoker, from what I
Oh
hear.
man, he was just like.
uh,
just sitting in that fucking costume. Can you imagine what it smelled like?
Oh my god.
Filming in the Texas heat.
It
Did you
felt-
say beans?
Beans. It
Shrimp.
smelled like actual human
beans.
skin.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, no, and he's all covered in fake blood and shit.
Dude,
But yeah, no,
that-
this movie was just like iconic. It's like your first. I feel like it's like the first slasher. Like this group of fucking teenagers is getting themselves into shit and they're getting fucking beat down. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, when did Scooby Doo come out? Because I feel like
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby Doo was inspired in some way just by the group dynamic off of
They're
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
not smart. I was gonna say like because they solve the mystery, but they also go, let's split up, gang.
I mean, the killer is in a he is in a mask. You know, oh yeah, they would have gotten clapped immediately. But like, you
Scooby-Doo.
got the group of kids in a van. You know, they pull up.
1969.
1969.
So I think Scooby Doo is what influenced.
They influenced Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We cracked the code, ladies and gentlemen.
All they needed was a dog. Scooby Doo gang knows what to do though, man, because they don't get clapped.
Because they don't get clapped.
Fucking
Even though we might wish they did in the more recent renditions.
dude. I mean, there's been so many. There's been
Yeah,
so many.
I can't
I'm pretty
keep track
excited
of
for this
them
HBO
anymore.
Max one though. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it like faithful at all to the source material?
It's not faithful on purpose. Like they're doing their own thing.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
comedy.
So
It's
like
a Velma.
straight
It's
up-
about Velma.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a Velma like comedic kind of story. I'm excited to see where they go with it.
I like Velma. She's
we'll
cool.
see. Yeah. But yeah, so pretty much Texas Chainsaw Massacre just kind of like it got everything started. I loved. It's a really slow burn at
Hmm.
first, but it's really beautiful. The shots are amazing. I love the color that they use in it, and then by the end of it, once shit pops off, it pops off. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just pops off, and it's this.
And it
it's
just
Sally,
stays crazy for the rest of the movie.
and it keeps getting crazier. You know, you're just being chased by a dude with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
That's fucking horrific. That's so scary. And
That
he's
was-
so fast, Dennis.
that
He
was
doesn't
a-
walk.
He's so fast.
He runs.
Dude, I've had numerous nightmares where I've been chased after
Me
by dudes with
too.
chainsaws. Not even Leatherface.
It was Leatherface for me, dude.
Like, chainsaws are just a devious weapon.
They are.
Like, in general.
That
That and
I
they're
think
a
you
good
and Toby
disposable.
Hooper would have something in common. His comment when thinking of why he wanted Leatherface to use a chainsaw, he was in like a hardware store around Christmas time, and he was
Christmas
thinking,
would be the time.
He was thinking of what the fastest way to get through the crowd would be, and he saw a chainsaw next to him. I'm like, dude, Jesus
Just
Christ.
fucking mowing people down. Just motherfuckers looking
was
like
like,
Darth Maul out here.
Yeah. He's like, well, that'll do the job.
That
Jesus
would
Christ.
definitely, dude. That's a very me way of thinking of that. That's awesome.
It connected. I
love-
was like, yep, you should hit Toby Hooper up if he's alive. I think
if he's alive. Hey, you and me got a lot in common, bro. I too wish I could literally cut in line.
Literally cut in line. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, dude. So I love that movie. There's so many sequels at this point. You
Yeah,
know.
they did they did the
One
remake.
came out last year,
Then they
even.
did Texas Chainsaw, and you said one came out last year.
There was one came out last year. So I don't know how
Jesus.
many total, but it's really the original for me. And I would rewatch the 2002 or 2003 remake, whichever year it was. But yeah, that kind of got the start. And then next on the line is when Halloween came.
So Halloween came following Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So
And does that-
Leatherface kind of set the standard of the big
The
frame.
big dude in a mask.
Yeah. But Halloween came 4 years after Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They used that trope kind of, but again, they more so made him the shape,
Right.
like the incarnate of evil. This fucking just mass that's just
They just give him this
Pursuing.
sense of mystery.
Exactly.
When you call him the shape like that, too. You're mythologizing him.
Exactly.
And the fun part is in the beginning of the movie, if I recall, they make it seem like he's just like an urban legend.
I'm
like,
pretty
he doesn't
sure, like
actually
it's like
exist.
yeah, because people know his name around that town.
Right.
Like they know about the Michael Myers incident or whatever. But I think that is what worked so well for Halloween 1 is that it was just, what is this? Who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
This guy is just showing up out of nowhere.
See, I love when you think he's a myth and then he pops up in the background.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh,
The
shit.
shot of him, and he's out there in pure daylight, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't
She's
give
walking
a
home from
fuck.
school or whatever, and he's just like halfway behind a bush staring at her.
Michael
Like,
Myers
fuck.
is the man. He's not even trying to hide from you. He's halfway behind the bush.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you got yourself into that situation, right?
Yeah.
Halloween, he's just coming for you, dude.
Yeah.
He's coming for you.
He's what
You're
really
not going
follows.
to him. Yeah. So I always loved the Halloween movies, man. I
Dude.
mean, the original is just so classic.
What do you think of Halloween 3?
Dude,
Season of
so
the
guess
Witch.
what? I've never seen Season of the Witch.
Mm.
That is like on my list for this year. Like I need to see that because
It gets a lot of hate because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it.
I know, isn't it? It's really interesting because he was going to turn it into an anthology series.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, how it's about, like, you know, the concept of Halloween as
Right.
opposed of just this one guy.
the only issue is that they made
It
the
didn't
sequel.
sell.
They made Halloween 2. So they made 2 Michael Myers movies. When you come out with something called Halloween 3, they're going to
They're
expect
expecting
Michael Myers popping up.
You should have made Season of the Witch the second one.
Yeah.
That would have done it for you.
But I think Halloween just did so good. The studio was just like, dude, sequel, let's go
No.
now. So he just picked up on that same night that Halloween happened because Halloween 2 takes place 10 minutes after Halloween 1. Like it's just
Oh, really?
it's Laurie
I forgot
Strode
about that.
in the hospital, and then he's on his way to the fucking hospital, bro.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, so
Dude.
it picked up quick.
He doesn't give a fuck about nothing, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember who inspired Michael Myers. That's a shame.
So who do you do you like all of the Michael Myers like movies, or are you just kind of a fan of the first one? Like, did you see the Rob Zombie one?
I saw the Rob Zombie one,
Fuck that.
and
movie.
I watched at least the first 3 Halloween movies.
Right.
Like the original. What did you think of the Rob Zombie remake?
it was so like the kills are insane
The kills are fucking awesome.
because it's Rob Zombie,
Yeah, I mean, he's got to go
and you
all
know
the way
he's,
with
yeah,
it.
exactly.
I didn't really like the setup, I will say that.
A lot of people didn't because you're ruining the myth.
Yeah.
You're making him a person. You're giving him a face. and you're
Yeah,
giving him a
Michael
story.
Myers isn't a person.
Right. That's what a lot of people
Then
bailed out on it, kind of.
That and the whole, like, the angry redneck, sensory overload, screaming
Yeah.
bullshit, like, that was a little that was overdone.
Right. And
You
I
know?
think he just went over the top in a lot of aspects because it's Rob Zombie. That's just kind of what he does, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's some scenes that are too
Then he's a big fan of exploitation horror.
for sure. Yeah. And I think like that movie could have been decently received as well, but then he also followed up with Halloween 2.
See, I didn't see that one.
Fucking dog shit, dude.
Fucking dog shit.
So bad. So bad.
Jesus.
It's like you're living half of the movie inside Michael Myers' head, and he's like tripping, and he's seeing his mom.
What?
Oh, I remember
He's seeing
that
his
one.
mom in like a white sheet, and she's on a fucking white horse at one part.
That
at
sounds
one point.
terrible.
Right. I'm like, why are you what is happening
They're
here?
trying to get artsy with Michael Myers.
It too much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2, I was like, I walked out of there and I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
This isn't Midsummer, guys. Like,
yeah, like
we
I
could
don't
get
know-
rid of the white sheets.
Right. I don't know where he was trying to go with that shit, but yeah, what
that
about you?
sounds
How did you
fucking-
feel about it?
That
like
sounds fucking dog shit.
so bad.
There was, I mean, like you said, there were a lot of great kills in that one. I really liked the lighting that they had.
And I think the
going
look
on.
was good.
The
Dark,
look was fucking great. Dark.
super gritty.
But when they had bright colors, it was like a bright red in a narrow hallway with blood splatters and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Straight up massacre.
that
and
shit's
shit.
dope.
Yeah.
Love that shit. And Rob Zombie's very capable of making like good horror movies too.
For sure.
House of a Thousand Corpses, dude.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Crazy.
To this
movie.
day, one of my favorite.
Fuck yo mama.
Fuck your mama.
Fuck your grandma.
The clown was fucking
Captain
great.
Spaulding, dude.
He's so good. Like, he might be my favorite character in
He's
that
an
whole
insane
shit.
character.
He's just a great character. I was afraid of clowns when I was a kid. So, like, he makes clowns better for me.
Bro, when he's like, I can't remember it wholly, but he like is robbing a car or something, and he looks back, and like there's a kid in the back seat, and the kid's freaking out and crying. He's got his makeup on, right? He just goes, "Oh, come on, kid, what's wrong?" And he starts getting in his face. He's like, "Don't you like clowns?
That's
Ain't we fucking funny?" And he just starts like laughing.
I forgot
That scene is like gold, dude. Oh my god. It's so good.
I love that
He's just
shit.
screaming at this. Ain't we fucking funny?
I love when somebody tries robbing his like museum in
That's
the
when he
first
says.
one.
That's when he's like, "Fuck your mama."
Fuck your mama. Yeah, he puts his hands up and his middle fingers are
Yeah, yeah.
It's just this fucking that
like the
nails the
start of the
character.
movie, I
He
feel
just
like.
does not give a fuck.
Right.
That's what I love in my horror movie characters, when they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like, I do this because I love it
Yeah.
type shit.
And he made that's a trio of just twisted characters, man. So
Yeah.
That's Rob Zombie doing good work.
That's very
House of a
good
Thousand
work.
Corpses is good. I
I'd
don't
say
remember
that's
Devil's
definitely
Rejects
a slasher. Like,
very
that's
well.
definitely a slasher.
From what I remember, yeah, they are getting kind of taken out.
Yeah.
One by one. I see. It's still kind of fuzzy. Like that's one I still hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah,
but-
or I'm not even sure if they have any like insane. I think most of the crazy graphics in that movie comes from people that are already dead
Really?
that we're like finding.
It's like you're in a haunted house.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're kind of going through this fucked up. Yeah. I need to give that one a rewatch.
Oh,
as
dude,
well.
The Shed. The Shed,
remember
when they
The
open
Shed.
the shed, it's where they like gut people and like hang the bodies up and shit.
Oof.
It's so nice. Like, I
It's
love that
so
shit.
Nice.
I love that shit.
Yeah, and that
But
movie's dark.
If he
as
would have
shit.
brought that level of sinister, like, it was almost comical too, because all the killers just have such a blast doing what they do.
That's why I like Captain Spaulding. Dude. He's a fucking nut.
Yeah,
He's
if
a
they would have
nut.
brought that same level of kookiness to the first Michael Myers,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like that could have been more fun. So instead of the old redneck just screaming the entire time, like, ooh, what's going on there?
My MacBook's gonna blow up. The timer's going.
Nailed
We're
it.
good. I fixed it. I know how to do computer things.
I don't.
I'm
Smash
you know,
keyboard.
you just got to give it a little love touch, a little
That's not touch screen. Punches it out.
punch screen, beach.
It's punch screen.
So yeah, no, I think he could have like brought better personalities to those characters in that movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. So instead of the redneck screaming the whole time in
Yeah.
the beginning, that sensory overload bullshit,
Yeah.
you could have made him love how much of an asshole he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just relish in the fact that he himself is being a terrible person.
Right.
That could have made it more bearable.
Yeah, and I don't remember much of like that backstory shit from it either. Just
Yeah.
mostly because it didn't hit for me.
It
you
really
know what I mean?
didn't. I did like how they put him in the psych ward. And
I
they
like the
had
psych ward
the
stuff.
doctor like talking to him and shit. They got
think-
the original.
Yeah. I think the guy who did the doctor did really good.
Yeah, didn't he play Alex DeLarge in A Clockwork Orange?
Yes,
did, yeah.
he did. Yeah, that's
he's
crazy,
great.
dude. I didn't
And then
even
the
make that.
cop in that movie played Chucky.
For real?
Yeah.
That's
yeah, he's like a
nuts.
redhead mustachioed sheriff.
Holy shit.
So they have Alex DeLarge and Chucky on a Michael Myers set.
that is kind of impressive.
Like,
that's pretty dope.
That's probably the best part of that movie.
Holy shit. I also love that Danny Trejo's in that movie. Do you remember him being
I
in
do
it?
not.
He was a janitor and he was trying to be there for Mike. He was like his
Really?
buddy. He was always like, "How you doing, Mike?"
Wait,
And Mike fucking murders his ass
who
hard.
do I know Danny Trejo from?
Danny Trejo is like he's
Every
he's
movie?
Machete. He's in
Oh shit! Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Spy
yeah,
Kids.
he's got that. It's like a taco franchise out in
Yeah,
Cali.
dude.
Shit.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Hell
good for
yeah.
him, dude. He's killing
awesome,
it.
man. I fucking love him.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's in it, and I loved his character because he's trying to be Michael's his boy.
He would be the wholesome.
He's being wholesome, and then he Michael, they do that classic, that drowning where it's from like the water and you see him
Oh,
in the
I
water.
love that.
But it just hurts. It just hurts because he was. It's Michael Myers though. He's gonna kill everybody.
yeah,
That's
I
what he
mean,
does.
obviously.
That's what he do. So yeah, I haven't seen every single Halloween movie.
He's an iconic character, though. I think that's what
Absolutely.
holds all of them together is the fact that he's such an iconic killer.
Exactly.
You know, like there's times where the plot goes off the rails and then
For
Rob
sure.
Zombie gets his hands on it. But at the end of the day, like, Homeboy is terrifying. Like,
will
I
always
thought William
be-
Shatner was scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yeah, dude. I find it interesting where the plots kind of find themselves because it was like 1 and 2 happened, 3 is in its own
Yeah, it's
Category.
its own world. And then Michael
4
Myers returns.
is the return, and then 5, and then it cuts after that, and they do like Halloween H2O,
Oh, God, yeah.
and then Resurrection.
Yeah, we don't talk about that movie.
We don't talk about either of those really. Resurrection is the Busta Rhymes one though.
Oh, okay. Then that one gets a pass.
There's also the Curse of Michael Myers, which is, from what I've heard, generally kind of shitty.
Mm.
I don't remember that one. It had Paul Rudd in it, who's a comedic actor actually. It was like
yeah.
young Paul Rudd. But then they scrapped everything when the Halloween 2018 came out, which I haven't seen.
Wait, so they just did a complete reboot?
They did not a complete reboot, which is interesting. They said, okay, Halloween 2018 is going to pick up where Halloween 1, 1978 left off.
Okay.
So it's like Halloween
So it's
1
kind of
happened.
a retcon situation.
They retconned everything after Halloween 1 and said, now Laurie Strode's older. He hasn't been back since, but he's back now. And it's like older Laurie Strode.
Yeah, I mean,
versus
she
Michael
was
myers.
badass in that movie, from what I hear.
I've heard
I
the
still
same.
haven't seen it.
I
don't
haven't
know
either.
why.
That's going to be something we're watching. It's not going to make it on the Halloween on the Halloween
Let me know when you
spooky
watch
season.
that, though. I'll come over, bring some drinks.
For sure. Well, there's that. There's the sequel,
Oh,
Halloween
yeah.
Kills, and now this year Halloween Ends comes out.
Halloween Ends.
Is Michael Myers going to die? I don't fucking know. Maybe.
Next year. Halloween.
Halloween's back, baby.
Yeah, Halloween's
Oh,
back.
for real?
No,
No.
we're fucking
No,
around.
I was gonna say
Maybe
dude.
though.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like it sounds like something that's already happened.
But
So-
I have heard that the 2018 Halloween is like phenomenal, like really fucking
Yeah.
good. So like, yeah, let's hit that shit up for sure.
What's the main character's name? I can never remember her name. She was in Freaky Friday.
Laurie Strode.
Laurie Strode.
That's her name in
She's
the
a-
movie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's a great actress.
Absolutely, dude. She
I
was
love
in
how
one of
she
my
flips
favorites for this
from
year.
like damsel to badass.
right. She's like totally like ready to kill his ass by this
Yeah,
time in these
dude.
movies.
She's so
like,
fed up with
I'm
it.
fucking done with him. Yeah, Jamie Lee
Damn,
Curtis.
dude.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis. That is what it is. This
So-
episode not sponsored by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Actually, sponsors Jamie Lee Curtis,
Please. It can be.
It can be though. What was your relationship with fucking Jason, man? Friday the 13th.
Jason was a lesser Michael Myers to me. And
Yeah,
that's actually
I've heard that a lot.
that yeah, I was thinking earlier, Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
You know, I liked it. I thought it was a good
Dude.
movie. It was kooky and fun and had a lot of fanfare.
See, I liked both of. I always watched both series. So yeah, when that movie came out, I was like,
Yeah.
that's kind of insane. Fuck yeah.
But I'm sitting here like, okay, the sequel is obviously Jason versus Michael Myers. That's obviously got to be the
If
sequel.
they made it happen once, so shall they do it again.
Dude, I mean, well, one, it did really well from what I remember. You know,
I
Freddy
don't remember
versus
how
Jason.
well it did, but everybody I knew was talking about it.
Yeah,
you know, what I mean?
like I mean, who hasn't seen
I
that
watched it all
movie?
the time.
Yeah, you know, it was a good movie. Everybody's seen that shit. But like,
Jason won.
oh yeah, Jason definitely won. I don't
Absolutely.
care if Freddy Krueger winked. Like he's decapitated.
He did.
You know, he clapped. Like end of story.
Fight me all you want.
Which
Jason won.
Jason definitely won, and then Michael Myers should have came and taken care of business.
Just kills
You
Jason.
feel me? Just fucking walk up. Well,
They're
that's
both basically zombies. though.
exactly. Well, the whole dynamic between the first one is Jason's an unstoppable killer, and
Yeah.
so's Freddy, but he pops up in your dreams and shit.
He's a
and
dream
like
bitch.
that add he's a dream bitch, and that adds like an interesting dynamic. But
Yeah.
then if you put Jason and Michael Myers head to head, they're both unstoppable fucking tanks with a long history of clapping anybody
but
that crosses
here's
their
what
paths.
that movie's going to turn out like. That movie's going to be Monty Python, the Black Knight. They're both the Black Knight from Monty Python, and their torsos by the end hopping at each other like,
"'Tis but a flesh wound."
it's a draw then. Like that's what that movie's going to be, because they can just keep cutting limbs off,
What a fucking
and they're going to be fine.
What a phenomenal draw that would be.
It
though.
would be.
You know,
it would be.
I just want to see Michael Myers throw Jason through a police car.
Oh yeah, I mean
That
for
would be
sure.
great. Kills every cop in the car. You could take that out, but
Well,
Jason's
no.
fine.
Well, you loved to see like Jason throwing Freddy Krueger's ass around, like straight up. He like just tosses this motherfucker. I remember in a scene they're fighting in a burning cabin, and Jason picks
Oh yeah, that's
Freddy
right.
up, sticks his head through the window, and he fucking runs him through every windowsill, just breaking
That
the
was
wall.
like the coolest part too.
That's when they first start fighting, and the music goes
Yeah.
like, ba-da-da-da, and you're like,
Oh yeah, the metal comes
here
in.
we go.
That's the thing that kind of the score kind of fucked it up for me a little.
Well,
bit.
very, very
It was
basic,
very
yeah.
over the top and basic, and like, yeah, we
For
get
me,
it.
dude, but for me, like I thought when I was little,
When you were
I wouldn't
little,
say
you're
little,
like,
but like
that
we were like
shit's
probably
hard.
early teenagers when this shit was coming out
Yeah,
or whatever. And for me, yeah, I was like, that shit goes hard as fuck.
yeah.
They're about to fight.
I probably even thought that at the time.
Yeah,
being,
but
like,
looking
a
back
rock
on it,
fan.
you're like,
looking back, I'm like, okay, we could have like been a little more subtle about it.
I guess it's an action movie at that point, though.
At that point, it is.
you know
an
what I mean?
action
It's not
movie.
really. They have
What-
a little bit scares in the beginning, but it's still just it's turning into a big fucking action movie. by the
Yeah, I
end.
mean, everybody expects the showdown. You gotta deliver on the showdown, especially when Freddy Krueger starts with the gas tanks, the propane tanks. He starts just
Yeah.
flicking them off and
it's
rockets.
cool. They did well with that fight. I ain't gonna
Yeah, that
lie.
was a really good fight.
It was just fun to see two horror icons go at each other. But as for the Friday the 13th series itself, that came out in 1980, so it predates A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Really?
Do you remember the very first Friday the 13th at all?
Wasn't it mostly focused on Jason's mom?
Yes, that's what was so interesting about the first. Like, I feel like me and you, our generation, grew up probably watching the hockey mask killer.
Yeah, it
Jason.
was the
it's
hockey
always
mask.
Jason.
It was
It's always the
always-
hockey mask.
Friday the 13th 2, you
Right,
know, the
right.
big killer.
And so
Where
I
it
watched
starts as like a revenge story
Yeah.
for a grieving mother.
Right.
And like, it's super sad.
she
but
was the camp, like chef or whatever.
Was
like,
she?
She worked the food banquet at the fucking camp, and yeah, Jason Voorhees drowned
And your
in a lake.
ugly kid got clapped.
Oh my god,
He was
my
ugly as
sweet
shit.
boy.
Your sweet boy's ugly as shit.
Dennis.
He needs to work on his social skills. Don't go on a boat with people you don't trust. Wait, no, it's not a boat.
Dude,
it's
they
a dog.
dragged his ass. They dragged him to the dock and
To the
drowned him,
dog.
bro.
Well, that's his fault. He should have gotten out of the way.
Oh, Jesus
Know what I'm
Christ.
saying?
You would have been dead, bro. You're going to find yourself in Camp Crystal Lake someday.
Dude, I would pay for that. Like,
But what's so-
please, rip me in half, Jason. Daddy.
Jason is so daddy. Jason is like, he's cooler, but like, it's kind of cool that this old lady's just fucking going at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, is she actually bodying people? I can't remember that.
She's got like in the first one, it's mostly that knife. It's mostly knife kills.
Okay.
And she's like slitting throats, you know, shit like that.
I could rock with that, though.
And it's just crazy when the big reveal is this tiny old woman.
It's like Psycho in reverse, how the mom's obsessed about
Yeah,
the kid now.
yeah.
It's still killing people with the knife.
Right. So it starts with an interesting idea like this, and then they go fucking Jason time. Like fucking the second movie, he doesn't even have his hockey mask yet. He's got like a fucking sack over his head in the
Oh, yeah,
second
that's
movie,
right.
which is interesting.
Yeah, that's
But
weird
then
to think about.
It's just interesting how it builds up to who Jason is, and then it goes off the rails with Jason goes to Manhattan.
Jason X.
Jason X.
In fucking space.
And
Alien
Jason
wasn't
Goes to
scary
Hell.
enough. Jason Goes to Hell was
That's
one?
a movie, and that's what hinted at Freddy versus Jason.
Really?
Because Jason Goes to Hell ends with a shot of the hockey mask on the ground, and Freddy's hand comes up and pulls it down.
That's what that cover art's from.
Yeah.
Now I get it. That's
Freddy's not in it at all until that very last moment. It's kind of insane.
that's weird.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
They got weird with these movies, man. I'm telling
For
you.
real.
So-
Like they start off like really grounded and good concepts, and eventually it's
Like
just
the first Friday the 13th, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
mom getting revenge for her son, and then we get on to a zombified man
Yeah,
that is
eventually-
murdering people.
they're like, okay, nobody's going to Crystal Lake. People aren't afraid of this. We need to put Jason in a town near you,
Yeah, right.
and we're gonna throw him in Manhattan.
It just doesn't work.
Anybody in New York
He's
is
not
in danger
scary
now.
there.
That's like Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Holy fuck.
Fuck
the
that
Leprechaun
movie.
movies. Fuck all the Leprechaun movies.
The Leprechaun series. The first one was fun. First one
Yeah,
was
I
fun.
mean, I definitely watched like at least 3 of them several times.
I'm not gonna lie, something psychologically stuck with me, like the sneezing bit in Leprechaun.
In the first one?
I want to say it's the first one, where Leprechaun's trying to make a girl sneeze 3 times in a row.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, my girl sneezes in like 4 sneeze increments.
Really?
So every time she'll sneeze the second time, I'll be like, "Bless you," just so a leprechaun doesn't steal my bitch.
That's
You
so
feel me?
crazy.
Gotta protect the game.
That's
you know what I mean?
I completely forgot about that, dude. That's insane.
Literally,
That's funny as fuck.
that's the only thing that stuck with me from
Yeah.
that movie.
I mean, it's just kind of like crazy. That was just like a crazy concept movie. We're like,
real.
we're going to have a fucking leprechaun kill people.
I will say, Friday the 13th. Getting back to that,
Yeah.
the whole like summer camp, like the setting of Camp Crystal Lake,
It
I could see
was
how
iconic after that.
It's
too.
iconic, and then I could also see how that hits like a certain demographic,
Yeah.
you know, of like suburbanites in that area. I
Definitely.
said suburbanites.
Like
suburbanites.
yeah, Suburban Nights, yeah. Suburban Nights.
Suburban.
That's like a weird movie title or something. I don't know.
This like Robin Hood Men in Tights all over again. But something about it does make it kind of universal for like that era of America.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like everybody to a degree has been in that type of setting.
Yeah.
And so because I go to a summer camp that's just like Camp Crystal Lake, it's just a
Right.
different name.
Right.
You know, and it's like, ooh, what if spooky shit happens here?
Then everybody in 1981 is scared to go to their summer campground. Yeah,
so I could see it resonating on that level, but like,
I enjoy Friday the 13th as a funny series. Like if you want to like watch the first one and stuff, you know, that has more of a
I'll watch it for the
realistic story.
kills.
Yeah,
for
like
real.
once you're getting later in the series, especially, you're watching it just for the kills. You're getting your popcorn.
My
You're
man's
clapping and you're laughing at the screen.
You're clapping and you're laughing.
not scared of this guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, he's a scary force, but it's just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
You're not jumping in your seat.
I like to blame Jason for the reason why I didn't have sex till I was 16. I was afraid that somebody was gonna kill me, bro.
That's like that's a horror movie, just universal law,
a
dude.
staple. You don't have sex or else you
And
will
don't
get
smoke
killed.
pot,
Don't
dude.
smoke pot or
Not-
cigarettes.
Yeah,
Cigarettes
dude.
are for bad people that get
Are for
killed.
bad people
Yeah,
that need
dude.
killed. All right, we're gonna end this on my personal favorite,
Let's go.
like classic slasher horror movie, Scream. One,
Scream.
the OG Scream, dude, 1996. So this movie came at the end of kind of an era, you know, all these like crazy 80s slasher films where shit just got crazy. By the end of these series, they kind of deconstructed and reconstructed their characters so many times. We needed something new. The 90s needed something new.
Didn't Scream also play around with a lot of the classic slasher tropes,
Absolutely.
like jokingly?
So Scream itself is like a whole meta commentary on horror movies.
yeah. Okay.
It's like the most self-aware but still scary horror movie that's kind of out there.
I
to
guess
me.
they're keeping that up in like recent renditions too.
They are. I did see the newest Scream and I did enjoy it.
You did?
There's just you can't ever
You can't replace
obviously,
the original.
You can't beat the original. I feel like it's true in like some rare cases that you can, but the first Scream is a fucking gem. And
Wasn't
it hit at the perfect time in horror.
Oh god, I hate myself for not remembering her name. The girl that played the romantic interest in 51st Dates.
Oh, God
Do you remember her name?
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. Wasn't
Yes.
she like one of the first in the Scream?
She's the first
movie?
kill.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were very surprised because she was advertised in the movie as the big name.
Oh yeah, and then
Drew
they killed
Barrymore's
her in
the
the
big
first
name.
5 minutes.
And then she was the first girl to go, and it was pretty surprising for a lot of people. And I just want to say that first scene is like so unbelievably iconic.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
what's your favorite scary movie? Can you make my voice sound like that, Davis?
What?
What's
Like
your favorite
Scream's voice?
scary movie?
Put a filter on my voice, Dennis.
Maybe.
What's-
I'd have to listen to it.
What's your favorite scary movie? Scream. Scream's my favorite scary movie.
August Underground. No, they're.
Dude, no, it's so funny.
Have you seen that?
Fuck no, I haven't. It's probably some weird shit.
We're gonna watch it together,
I'm
bro.
not watching it.
All three of them.
I'm not. We're gonna watch Halloween. I don't want to watch that shit. You're not gonna make me watch that shit.
It's not that bad.
I don't even know what it's about.
It's pretty bad.
It's not that bad. No, it's pretty bad.
I won't watch it unless I'm showing somebody.
So like in the first Scream, you get the questions about the classic horror movies. You know that classic first scene with the popcorn going, the tension in that scene when you know that there's somebody outside of your house and you're there alone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So scary. And the horror trivia, I love it. In the newest Scream movie, they hit this rendition with the first scene really hard. Like they do the phone call again, and it's like, what's your favorite stab movie?
Stab movie.
So in the Scream, I'm going hard now. In the Scream franchise, after Scream 1, in the second Scream movie, there has been a movie that came out within the Scream universe called Stab. Based on the Ghostface killings.
That's funny.
So in this Scream movie, he opens, and it's all about the Stab movies trivia. And the girl that answers the phone, he's like, what's your favorite scary movie or whatever? And she's like, oh, well, I really like Hereditary and Midsommar, you know, Ari Aster's new. Like, she literally drops those names. And the killer on the phone's like, I'm not talking about that new age shit. We're talking about Stab.
We're talking about Stab.
So it's kind of like
they're like, we're aware of our competition.
I love it, dude. I love it. They're like, we're going up against this, but we're bringing you back.
We're doing our
slasher
own
shit. Man. I loved that. So
I could respect that.
Oh, super.
There was one clip that I saw from the newer movie where like some dude walks out the front door and a chick on the couch is like, he's getting killed or something like that.
I don't really remember that, especially like 100%, but that's very what the Scream movies are involved with. It's like it's all about the rules in horror movies. Like it's a whole scene.
I'm gonna have to rewatch those movies,
dude. Scream is like, you have to, if you haven't watched it in a while, like you have to fucking rewatch the first Scream movie. Jamie Kennedy plays Randy Meeks in the movie, and this guy is like the horror buff. He's the one who watches the horror movies in the group, and once people start to die, he's like, here's what you don't do. You never do this. There's like 3 rules. Yeah.
So I saw like another rendition of that character. There was like a Scream TV series that was made.
Yeah,
and
I watched
every
a few episodes.
Season, it was like a different group.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and like there was always like either a dude or a chick who was that character.
Really? Okay.
The voice of reason.
Right.
You might say.
Right.
So that's cool. That's so weird that they just kept that running like this whole time. Like
that's surprising.
I didn't
to hear,
even realize
actually.
it went all the way back to the first one because it has been a while. I haven't seen that movie in a minute,
dude.
But I have seen the recent renditions of it.
Yeah,
and it's so cool that they stayed so faithful,
absolutely,
while still mixing it up.
It's so funny, dude. And there's a scene where this character, it's like the final party, and you know the final party is the final confrontation where everybody. That's where a lot of kills happen.
Shit pops off.
That's where shit super pops off. Everybody else is spread out. He's drunk. He's on the couch watching a horror movie.
Classic.
And he's behind you, you fucking idiot.
And then
the
killer behind him.
Of course, yeah, Ghostface creeps out of the door behind him. And it's still tense though. Like it's a funny moment because of what's happening, but you're like, I don't want my boy to die.
Shit.
He's my boy.
Dude, that's so
you're like,
good.
Turn around. You're supposed to be the smart one. You fucking moron. So they knew how to create those moments in that movie, and I
that's
just
so
fucking
meta.
love it. And Ghostface is scary as shit.
Ghostface is scary as shit.
Like
I went as him for Halloween like twice.
He's so like the costume's scary, but also what's fun about the character is that he's human. My dude is fumbling and tripping over shit as he's trying to catch this person. Like if you don't remember very well, like
They really
they're running
played
through
into
these
that,
houses, and
and
like he's like running, and he'll like do a full slide. And
Yeah,
then he
he's
starts
like
coming up
trying
the
to get
stairs.
his grip. Yeah.
But it's also scary because how hard he is trying to get you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a human-like nature to it because he's not just a big mass walking slowly towards you, but he's also like
They really played into that when they made fun of Scream and Halloween. Well, not Halloween.
Scary Movie.
It's Scary Movie.
Yes,
That's what I meant.
yes.
Yeah, dude. Fucking.
Oh, Scary Movie 1 is fucking
like,
great.
he fell through a coffee table, I want to say.
I'm pretty sure, and they also like drop shit on him down the stairs as he's trying to get up the stairs.
Yeah. No,
They definitely played on that, yeah. But I always loved that in the movie because it just made him real.
very human.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like a killer should be perfect in that way. Like, so that is the flaw that Michael Myers and Jason do have, is
Right.
that they're literally unstoppable.
Exactly.
Whereas, Ghostface, being a human, he's more vulnerable than either of those guys. But that
Right.
kind of makes it so much worse
Exactly.
that he's coming after you. That's like, serial killers are scarier than movie monsters.
Right, because it's a real thing. It's
Yeah.
a real possible chance that something like this could happen. This
There
is a
might
real
be-
guy who figured out when the first girl at the beginning of the movie, he figured out when she was going to be alone. He planned everything, guts her boyfriend in front of her, and then fucking kills her.
Yeah, oh my god.
Crazy, dude.
Crazy. Just being bait.
The whole voice thing, the stalking nature of it, the phone calls,
And you never know who it's going to be because they're under that
the
mask.
mystery, dude.
There might be a serial killer in this room right now.
I wonder who it would be.
Yeah, not
God damn it.
definitely Davis, bro.
It's
He's got
Davis.
serial
Come on,
killer
dude.
vibes.
Cuff this motherfucker up.
What?
Yeah, so the Scream movies, and especially Scream 1, has a super special place in my heart just for what it was and the time that it came out. It hit
Wasn't
so
that
hard.
another one that weren't there a couple of sequels to that one?
Yeah, so there's 5 Scream five, yeah. 5
Five
is
of
the
them?
last one that came out, but there's a trend of just calling your new rendition the same name as the first one. So the 5th one is just called Scream.
That's weird.
Scream 2020 or whatever 2022. Did it come out? It came out this fucking year. That's
So
crazy.
instead of Scream 2, 3, and 4, they just call it Scream?
Yeah.
That's
Well, there's
interesting.
Scream. There's Scream 2, 3, 4, and then they named the 5th one just Scream. Don't know why. They also named Halloween 2018 Halloween.
That-
Even though it's a sequel to the original Halloween,
That's
technically.
fucking weird. Why?
It's
but you
weird.
can't call it Halloween 2.
Or
So I see that
I
struggle.
guess, yeah, because Halloween 2 already exists, but Halloween also already exists. I don't know. I
Just
don't
call
have the
it
answers.
Halloween 2.0. I don't know.
2.0.
Yeah,
That sounds
2.0.
weird. That sounds like we're
They
getting
made
back in the weird.
H2O.
I was gonna
bro,
say we're
like-
getting in the H2O area there. So my favorite out of these that we've talked about, Scream is my movie. Ghostface is my boy. Even though it's like a copycat killer every time it reoccurs.
Right.
I still love it.
true.
And it's because these characters are obsessed with him.
That
they
kind of
become
makes
him.
it worse too. That it is a copycat killer.
Yeah.
Because it could just it could be anybody.
Right.
At that point, like not
Exactly.
just as they're the mask, but there's also the fact that it's never the same killer.
For sure. And the whodunit is just a big part of those movies.
The whodunit.
Whodunit. We're on a mystery.
We're on a mystery.
So yeah, what about you, man?
Fucking.
What is your favorite either movie out of these that we've talked about or franchise as a whole?
Favorite franchise as a whole, probably the Halloween series.
I totally get that.
There's just something about it.
You can't fuck
you
with
know,
Michael Myers.
Well, that and one, you can't fuck with Michael Myers. Two, the cinematography for the first Halloween, bro.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's so
Second
well
one, too.
shot. The fall vibe, yeah, the second one too. The fall vibes are just so
in the
on
tones
point.
of it's not as colorful as Midsummer, but that's shooting a horror movie in
Yeah,
daylight.
that like daylight
Yeah.
horror. Man, the way they get the fall leaves and those long shots just like stretching down the street.
Right.
It's like, where is the danger? I have to look all the way down the street
Yeah.
just
yeah.
to see the fucking thing.
The
Or
night
look,
he came home.
Michael Myers clapped a cop, fucking that is definitely some hard shit to
He
accomplish.
always be doing that.
And he punched through a window for it, bro. He like pulled him out of, he was on the roof, if I remember right, punches through the window and pulls the dude out of the whip as he's driving.
Holy shit.
Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, dude.
How do you not? Oh man, that's
You never
rough.
see where he's gonna pop up, but he pops up.
Inspiration-wise, I'd probably have to say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, though, just because it does have that real basis and, like, this shit happens to a degree.
Yeah.
It's almost like a predecessor to House of a Thousand Corpses, you know, because there's this killer family just stacking bodies in this
Yeah.
crib, you know, and then
Except
the
they're
Ed
eating 'em.
Gein element. Yeah, except they're eating them.
Yeah.
And the Ed Gein element just makes it so much more based in reality
Right.
that it's fucking sinister, dude.
The Ed Gein connection is actually the way that they were also able to put the based on a true story tag,
Yeah.
which was, I mean, it's always extremely misleading.
Yeah,
But
it
that
was.
little Ed Gein tether is how they said based on a true story, and that's what made that shit blow up. 'Cause people
Yeah,
were like,
because people are like,
"What?
this shit happened.
like this is real.
Yeah.
That film couldn't be shown in like a couple countries when it first came
That
out.
makes
Like
sense.
it took time for, and then
Every
critics
good
praised
film,
it. Yeah,
every good piece of art is gonna get banned in some way to some capacity. Like the Sex Pistols, bro.
right.
Sex Pistols, literally, they weren't allowed to get #1 in England when they got like #1 record.
Yeah.
Like the Queen wouldn't have that shit.
What queen?
The Queen of England. Oh, that's right.
Am I gonna die?
I just.
Now I fucked myself. We can
That
cut
just
that out.
fucked me, too.
Davis, 85 minutes.
There goes
Cut
your
it.
British audience.
I'm alienating too
He
many
said,
people.
"What queen?"
That's
Damn.
fucked up.
I forgot she was dead. So you said that shit. The queen's just a fact of life for me at this point.
Kind of. I mean, yeah, you know, she's always been around.
Yeah, you know,
since
I
we've
mean,
been alive.
that I'm mostly English, so like I think we just have like an identity based around the queen.
What the fuck were we talking about? that I
We were
dropped
talking
that?
about the Sex Pistols. They were
Right.
supposed to get #1 on the English like music charts.
Yeah.
At that time, and the monarchy is like, no, that's not fucking happening. So instead of like replacing the #1,
Yeah.
that Billboard company just left #1 blank.
Are you for real?
Yeah,
Holy
that way
shit.
everybody
She just
would
said
know
no.
who got #1. We
That's
just weren't
crazy.
allowed to say it.
Wow.
Like, so
That's
I mean,
nuts.
Sex Pistols got censored. Cannibal Holocaust is still censored
Well,
in
of
a lot of
course.
them. There's one French film called Martyrs, which is definitely a interesting watch. It's hard. It's a hard watch.
Yeah.
But you know, little.
I like
girl-
a movie that's like hard to watch. I hate a movie that's hard to watch just to be hard. Like,
Yeah,
if it's
no,
just
that's-
shock for shock's sake, that's fucking dumb.
Like I could watch that sometimes, but I really don't like to.
Right.
I like a hard to watch movie that tells a good story that actually hits like a visceral emotion.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it's not just pointless. It's not just
Yeah.
needless. Right.
like Martyrs is crazy. Like there's this little she's captured as a child by this group of people that are basically in a cult,
Yeah.
but that's not revealed until later. But the whole deal is we're trying to torture somebody so much that they could see to the other side,
What?
right? And so we need to torture this person and them to survive for us to
Oh,
know what's on the
fuck.
other side.
That's fucked up.
And, you know, a little girl escapes, you know, goes to an orphanage, and there's this whole revenge plot where she comes back to kill her captors.
Wow.
Comes back, kills
So that's
fucking,
a revenge story.
kills them and the kids. Like, nobody
Oh,
walks out of
God.
there, you know.
So she's just, yeah, I mean, I guess you're just psychologically fucked.
But
after
then the
that.
cult shows up,
Oh, God.
you know. Cult pulls up, you know, kills her and starts torturing her friend, I believe. And the climax is they end up skinning this girl's full body.
Holy shit.
Full
dude.
body skinning. And the character that got tortured whispers something into the cult leader's ear,
Yeah.
and we're expected to believe that it is what is on the other side. Right? They finally
Jesus
got their
Christ.
answer. And the cult leader talks to one of the other members and goes, she like says something that alludes that I know what's on the other side. You can keep doubting. And shoots herself in the head.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
What I think it is that there's nothing on the other side.
That's kind of what I was
and
thinking.
that they've been like hurting these people for no reason.
Oh, yeah. That seems to be the lesson of it. Yeah.
You know.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
Holy
definitely
shit.
an
What's that called?
interesting
Martyr?
martyrs.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
That's fucked up.
it's a French exploitation film.
Wow. Holy
But it's
shit.
like it's an artsier one. It's well directed. Fucking cinematography is great. Coloration. The plot's great.
That's
the plot's
it's definitely
solid.
crazy, man.
You
Yeah.
know, you just
Lots of turns. Holy shit.
yeah. That's one of those movies. It's like it's shocking, but it has something to say.
right.
You know, that's what
Wow.
I'm into.
That's nuts, man. Well, shit, dude. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you having me, man.
We fucking we miss our boy Andrew Hall. He's a little sicky today. You know?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, my man. He will be back next week. He's not dead. He's not dead. Don't pull out your tissues. I'd be crying. I wouldn't be here. I'd be dead. We're actually part of the same
A
being,
suicide
so-
pact is what it sounds like.
God damn it.
You're the same being.
We're part of the same being. That's all. You know, we share a soul.
You can't see it because we don't have cameras. They're attached at the hip.
Yeah, nobody knows what we look like, really.
Yeah,
We haven't showed you.
He's not really. I mean, he's here. He's just asleep.
Who's here in spirit?
He's here in spirit.
All right, y'all.
Well, his spirit is here because he's dead. I'm playing.
He's not.
He's not dead.
My boy is with us.
I would not be laughing this hard if he were dead. A little
damn.
less hard.
All right.
Playing.
This has been Burgundy talking about my friend dying.
And Zachary Gosen grieving his loss.
Thanks for sticking around, guys. Unfortunately, this is our last episode of spooky season, but you know, this year we'll still talk about scary movies. Though, send us some shit. You know.
Sorry, things went a little off the rails. You know, we went into.
Hey, man,
Controversial.
we just came in. This morning we found out Andrew was a little sicky tummy, so we just
went
decided
into
to talk
salvation
slashers and,
mode.
Yeah. I think it turned out good. We had a good combo. So
I feel like we got some stuff in there.
y'all stick around, and we will see you next week.
Also, check out BRGNDTV on YouTube.
Watch him eat some hot shit.